It's the empowered target. I just happened to run across this article. I wasn't actually looking for a lawyer. I know better than that. But I just happened to look at this article, and it really made my skin crawl. So I'm going to read it to you because it's so unbelievably offensive in my opinion. So this is a person who is calling themselves a targeted individual. And the website is called AVO, which is where you look for online lawyers, I guess. So the question is, are there any attorneys or lawyers for targeted individuals? And then this person says, I'm a targeted individual who's going through multiple acts of terrorism on a daily basis. I'm going through electronic harassment, psychological terror, and denied help, directed energy weapons, and every crime under this targeting genocide program. So that's the question. 3 attorneys answered. Here's the first answer. No, attorneys do not specialize in this type of issue because any sort of legal action requires actual proof sufficient to convince strangers, a judge and a jury, that somebody is actually spending tens of thousands of dollars to follow you around and use super secret science fiction weaponry to torment you for an entirely unknown reason and no observable benefit. In most cases, it's much more likely that a medical issue is at the bottom of this issue you are experiencing than a public or private group with tens of thousands of dollars to spend and nothing better to do with it than to make your life difficult. You need to get a thorough medical and psychological workup to rule out these issues. In order for an attorney to help you, there has to be tangible evidence linking something that happened to you with some specific defendant that could be served with legal process. That's number 1. Okay, here's what another lawyer responds. I suggest that you post your situation on Quora.com, where they have experts on gang stalking, electronic harassment, electromagnetic torture, or psychotronic torture is a conspiracy theory that government agents make use of electromagnetic radiation such as the microwave auditory effect, radar, and surveillance techniques to transmit sounds and thoughts into people's heads, affect people's bodies, and harass people. Individuals who claim to experience this call themselves targeted individuals who are victims of gang stalking, and many have joined fringe support groups and advocacy groups. Multiple medical professionals have determined that these experiences are hallucinations. The result of delusional disorders are psychosis, the same sources from which arise religious delusions, accounts of alien abductions, and beliefs in visitations from dead relatives. It can be difficult to persuade people who experience them that their belief in an external influence is delusional. Read carefully all 3 parts of the Psychology Today article, blah, 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 gang stalking, real-life harassment, or textbook paranoia. If you believe that you're being gang stalked, please see a mental health professional. They may be the only one that can help you. However, if you have an evil neighbor, they can bypass the safety mechanism on a microwave oven, open the door, and point it at you. Likewise, if you're in a crowd and rioting, the authorities may direct sound waves, low-level microwaves, tear gas, and water cannons at you to get you to disperse. This is normal. Earplugs, goggles, and wrapping yourself in tinfoil might give some protection. Best wishes. Oh, condescending. And then the last attorney says, I think you need a good doctor over an attorney. So here's my issue. They discredited this person without talking to them, they just assumed this person had no evidence and no proof, and they assumed this person was crazy. So that sounds to me like a prepared answer, because I know a lot of targeted individuals have a lot of proof. I myself have a lot of proof. Now, can we prove everything? Can I prove everything? No, but I can certainly prove something's going on. And I I'm very offended by people that jump to that automatic discrediting without even talking to somebody. They just make the assumption that they're crazy. So that means that the person already knows about it. And by the way, the second answer from the attorney knew a lot about Quora.com and targeted individuals. I wonder why that is. He sounded like he was very well practiced in the program. So I just find that very curious because, and it's also very frustrating. Now, it does depend on how you position it. Instead of calling yourself a targeted individual, maybe you could say you're experiencing community harassment or whatever you have proof of. But to be discredited and treated like you're crazy without ever having a conversation with that person, without seeing what kind of evidence they have, that's the challenge that targeted people face. So, yeah. So, if any of you have evidence, just be careful what you talk about. And I would highly suggest that you do not talk about things you have no evidence of. And when you do talk about things, position it in a way that makes sense instead of, I hear a lot of targeted individuals talking about alien type things, or they have some sort of religious component added to it, or it's evil, magic, that kind of stuff. That's what discredits the true targeted individuals. So just be careful how you position it. But this is why targeted individuals can't get help, because that's the opinion that professionals have. Have a great one.